Welcome to a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda.
Yes.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. If you'll please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And good morning. Welcome to the Board of County Commissioners meeting for December 3rd, 2019. The year's almost over. Our inspirational word for the day: whenever you possibly can, do good to those who need it. Never tell your neighbor to wait until tomorrow if you can help them now. And we have our dog this morning.
Good morning. This is kennel number 6, American Bulldog mix. Approximately a year and a half, just guessing, but by the teeth. We have 15 other dogs available in the kennel, so come down and see us. All our new prices are in effect starting today, so thank you.
Thanks for a nice Christmas surprise, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She looked really pretty with a big red bow around her neck.
Yes.
Right. Madam Clerk, we have a recognition this morning.
Okay, Miss June Yost.
June, if you want to come forward. Jim, if you want to come up with June, you're more than welcome to. June is retiring as the Executive Director of the North Ridgeville Community Care.
Right there at the
We'll just have
podium.
you come up to one of the podiums there, June. Right over there. There you go. Well, I got to tell you, June is just such a delightful lady. She is a real godsend for the community. She's really helped out tremendously. And just to give our community a little background about June, if you don't know about her, June is retiring as the CEO of the North Ridgeville Community Care. She's been at the helm there since about 1989. And in the beginning, community care was probably serving about a handful of families, but that's grown tremendously. I was just looking at the long list of all the services that community care in North Ridgeville provides, and it's been very successful thanks to the leadership of June all these years. But community care provides food, clothing, utility and housing assistance, emergency prescription financial assistance, summer lunches for children, school supplies during the school year, Easter baskets, Thanksgiving dinners, the Christmas store and Adopt a Child program, also essential paper products, cleaning products, personal hygiene products that can't be purchased with SNAP. And they help around, about 1,000 families a year, 1,000 individuals a year. They also managed to move into their own facility a while back, and we understand that Bob Schmidt, very well known for Schmidt Homes in North Ridgeville, actually built that building for you at his own cost, and that was really great for the community. And I know over the years, I think I may have missed this last one for the first time in a long time, but I know one of your big events is the Soup for the Spirit event, always a great event. And I know that's your big fundraiser each year, but June, if you'd care to share with us just the impact the community care has on the community. Sometimes people think, well, maybe North Ridgeville's not struggling as much as other communities, but every community has needs and families in need.
Right. North Ridgeville has everything that any larger city has, except perhaps on a smaller basis. We have been able to be an independent agency, and our guidelines are set by our board of directors. And you have to look at each person as an individual. We have very few group rules. In other words, everything is based on what that person comes in and shares with us, and then we see what we can do for them. And I should not speak in the present tense because as of the 30th of November, I am retired. However, I have been asked to come back and do the Christmas store, which was one of my creations, and I love it, and I'm going to go back this next week, and we will be having our Christmas store where all of our clients can come and shop with no money for their kids. And that's really a joy to me. I leave things in good hands. They have come up with a little bit different structure in North Ridgeville. We will have a person who has a face in the community, and then we have a person who has a face in the agency. And the person who is in the agency will have to do with all of our clients and with working with our volunteers. The other one will be out in the community, meeting and greeting, and hopefully letting more and more people know about community care. I thank you very much for this morning. This is quite an honor. I think the last time I was in a setting such as this, it was for an adoption of a grandchild.
Oh, wow. Oh, very cool.
So thank you very
Yeah,
much.
and you have, 4 children, like a dozen grandchildren?
Oh, my. I have 17 grandchildren.
Oh, 17 grandchildren, okay.
And 17 great-grandchildren.
Wow.
I think I'll find one or two things to do during my
I think you will.
Well, we know you have a big heart, and I know that from the soup fundraiser, you've always had such great stories to tell, and I'm sure that in your retirement, those memories will have to come back to you frequently.
Oh, yes. I'm sure. Some of them will last forever.
Well, we'd like to come down and present you with the proclamation, and if Jim wants to come up, take a picture with us, or he may want to take the picture of you. Okay. I guess we'll jump into our resolutions, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Investments.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Appropriations.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Transfers.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
There are no advances for today. Requisitions.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Travel.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Bills.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Number 8, authorize various personnel issues as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within the jurisdiction of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners.
That would be County Administrator Jim Cordez. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioner. You're right, we're rapidly approaching the end of the year here. I do have a small amount of issues for executive session. Still working on the purchase of real estate, potential hire, collection center, a couple board issues, appointments that I want to discuss, and ongoing labor negotiations, preparing for ongoing labor negotiations with our 911 employees. Although I still haven't gotten the notice to negotiate, which I thought I'd be getting, as we discussed. I have to check on that. I'm going to do that today. And one pending legal matter. All those topics will be allowable under the Sunshine Act for executive session discussion. So to ask at the conclusion of our regular board meeting, we go into executive session and we discuss those matters that I've explained. Thank you.
Okay, number 9, approve and waive the reading of the County Commissioners meeting minutes of November 19, 2019.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Okay, under Community Development, number 10, authorize Director of Community Development Department to advertise a request for qualifications and to prepare a contract for procurement of environmental remediation services for multiple qualified abandoned gas stations within Lorain County and declaring an emergency.
So move.
Second?
Don's here to talk
Yeah,
about it. So, but
right.
I think you have the completed press release on this too, right?
Yeah.
I only had the draft one, so.
Yeah, Don Romancak's our Community Development Director. Don, we'd ask you to, I guess, help inform the community on what it is that we're seeking here. This is always a challenge for government dealing with abandoned gas stations and tanks underground.
This program is relatively new by the state of Ohio. It's been out for about 3 years. The department has aggressively pursued finding properties that could be made eligible for this program. We've identified a couple that have shown real potential, but they are not classified properly as a C. And so we've determined that while we have projects that are available, we could use some outside assistance. And so we've come to the board to ask for your assistance in cleaning up, getting a couple of properties potentially cleaned up. We're looking forward to advertising and reviewing qualified companies. There are several that we already have relationships that do this type of work. And this would be an opportunity for us to take a better look at some gas stations, one being in Oberlin that we've worked with the city on, and the city has gotten some assistance. Another is actually in Lorain, our E&L Transport. That one, I'm doubtful that we'll be able to get it through this, but we are actually today submitting an application for cleanup through US EPA. So this is an example, too, of how we work with you and the public to be able to identify different programs and continue to apply potential solutions to them. This is just, though, our first step in procurement and getting the expertise that we need to put together a successful application that could bring us up to $500,000 to do a cleanup of an environmentally contaminated property where there is no responsible party that is able to clean. And that's important. We're not cleaning up an old BP station that's still owned by BP, right. But this would be a family that had owned and has either no longer is with us, or the estate has no resources. So this is for where there's no place else to turn, and there are several of those in the county that we're hoping to be able to address over time. Awesome. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
No, I just know this is, an issue that government sometimes comes up against, and you hope to reuse or redevelop the property, but it kind of remains almost like a zombie type property because, you literally can't do anything with it because of these tanks in the ground, and you can't just leave them there and build over them. You got to remediate it.
Well, and could I ask you, Don? in the process of the cleanup, do you determine in advance if there's any leakage?
Yes.
Okay, and so
That-
then we're able to encompass the leakage cleanup as well.
Correct, and that's why these
Bordering properties.
we're protecting basically human health and
Yes.
existing properties that surround these abandoned gas stations.
Right.
They are a risk, both to health but also to the redevelopment of the neighborhood.
Exactly.
So if we're able to identify and then clean up a gas station that had been abandoned and it has to have tanks in the ground, then what we are doing is preventing those the fuel and the chemicals that make that up from leaving the property and contaminating the
Seeping.
neighbors and potential groundwater or surface waters.
Correct. And we've seen several instances of that
Yes.
in recent years where developments were going in and they discover,
Yeah, we've-
contaminated seepage coming through.
We found them throughout both the city of Lorain, city of Oberlin. I'm sure they
North
exist in
Ridgeville.
Elyria, North Ridgeville with the widening of Center Ridge.
Yeah.
And even when you know there's a tank, we have found that the records are not perfect. I can remember doing a tank removal about 10 years ago. And we knew 3 tanks were there. We removed 3 tanks, and then the side wall collapsed, and out came a 4th tank. And it was full of diesel. No one knew. And so we had to then continue to clean that up as well. So this is a program that is, a very solid program for us. It will protect our community. And again, as we like to do is try and bring as many dollars back from Columbus that we give to be able to, again, reinvest in our community.
Great, great.
So I thank you very
Thank you.
much.
And then you have a press release for the media later,
Yes.
give them more of the details so they can get it out to the community. Okay, thank you, Don.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Don.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, any further discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Job and Family Services, number 11, amend Resolution 18676 dated October 17, 2018, authorizing Neighborhood Alliance to provide emergency shelter for federal fiscal year 2019. Said amendment will increase the Title 20 funds by $4,357.72 and increase Title 20 TANF transfer funds by $132,598.39.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Under Domestic Relations, number 12, approve the Courtview Justice Solutions Incorporated doing business as Equivant contract to upgrade the Lorain County Domestic Relations Court Juvenile Division's case management system in the amount of $1,111,933.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion?
Obviously, that's a very large amount of money, and this is something we try to stress to the community all the time, that there are ongoing issues that county government faces, and this involves, upgrading a system that hasn't been upgraded in how long of a period of time? Yeah, sure.
Happy to start from the back then.
Yeah.
You know you'll get yelled at.
Yeah, the microphone
You know
works
the
best.
rules.
Jody Barilla, Lorain County Domestic Relations Court. Our current system we have had for at least 17 years, probably going on more like 18 or 19 years at this point. And as probably anybody's aware with technology, that's very old for a computer system. But as this project recognizes, like the Clerk of Court's office's project and the prosecutor's office, it is a big expense, but also it will help the court really work much more efficiently. We'll be able to allow us to use our resources more efficiently, repurpose some of our court staff, hopefully, but also make things more convenient for the public as they come in contact with the court. One of the things we plan to implement is electronic filing, which will allow folks to file court pleadings, papers, all of that from the comfort of their living room. Anything we can do to, kind of make things a little bit easier for the public as well. But yes, it is an old system.
And I think it's also important to point out, I think one of our, I wouldn't say neighboring counties, but I believe it was in the Toledo area. I think they spent about $250,000 for a consultant to go
Yes.
out and look at all these options, whereas you folks did it internally. Maybe you can share more about that.
Yes. So we started this project as a collective group in the Justice Center. So that included our court division, general division, Tom Orlando's office, clerk of courts, the prosecutor's office, and also the probate division. We had a team of folks from each, representing each division that met regularly to attempt to do this on our own, in part because Lucas County did, in fact, spend upwards of $250,000 on a consultant to essentially achieve the same result, hopefully, that, we all did. In an effort to save the taxpayers' money and not have to, spend that additional money on a consultant. We have a lot of great resources here right in the county with our IT departments, and we decided, it made sense to rely on the expertise we have in-house and be able to use that money toward what it really needs to be used toward, which is the actual system itself.
And the way software works nowadays is probably, outdated in maybe 10 years from now?
Probably
or
already
sooner?
outdated.
And I think I'd like to add, just in support of that, while this current system, the platform, is maybe 17, 18 years old, a greater cost would be incurred if you wait till it crashes.
Exactly.
And we run the risk with software mechanisms that if we're not staying current, and there's one thing to have minor repairs and glitches and repairs, but when you're talking 17, 18 years, they're no longer servicing those products. So if you have a crash, you're left helpless. And I know that from my experience, you get an efficient and a newer platform for your employees. You're going to save man hours.
Exactly.
You're going to process things, as you said, more efficiently, but you're going to do it in less time. And as we're seeing the increased workload that we're getting thanks to Columbus, I think we don't have an option but to
Absolutely.
make sure we're prepared for that. So
Exactly.
And
You're
does your
exactly
current
right.
system communicate with the prosecutors and the other departments?
Our current system does not. So
this'll be-
you want to talk about inefficiencies. So
Right.
the way our current system works, and we're sort of in a unique position with the other courts over there because we are domestic relations and juvenile division. So our juvenile division computer system is CourtView and will be this upgrade to a CourtView product. But currently, domestic relations, which is half of our files and half of our work, because that's all in the clerk of court's office, their current system is GBS Court Track, and they're in the process of upgrading. But those two systems do not communicate currently. And so as a result of that, just to give you kind of a snapshot in the day-to-day, our assignment commissioners, our schedulers, when they are scheduling a hearing, they have to go into each system and schedule that same hearing twice for every single one to make sure that we're not overlapping on the judicial officer's schedule. So that is such an inefficient use of our resources. With the upgrade, one of the things that we made sure that I fought very hard for was that the two new systems will talk and communicate with each other, and we made sure that that was absolutely built in every step of the way to eliminate a lot of that duplication of effort and a lot of those inefficiencies.
excellent.
Very good, and thank you for saving the taxpayers all that money by doing the work yourself. And believe me, I know it wasn't easy at times trying to get everybody on the same page and work things through, but a job well done, which we didn't have to spend this kind of money, but we do. It's a reality, but it's just so important to inform the public because the public doesn't understand that, much like housing expenses, our expenses go up on a regular basis, and especially with technology, our costs go up significantly. Everybody thought technology is this great thing, which it is a great thing, but it's very expensive. And to be able to do this is a big chunk of money for us.
It'll be a great investment.
Yeah.
Well, we got business.
Yeah.
How do we resolve the cloud issue? We haven't, I sent you over the information from bond counsel and their thinking on that, the underwriters. And then you and I have just been so busy, we really haven't circled back on that. And what
Well,
did we decide to do?
So what we plan is, since the hosting services, so one of the things we've done is we are eliminating physical servers, and we will have all of our, everything will be in the cloud. All of our data and all that will be in the cloud, which is actually, it's much better protected and allows for disaster recovery. But based on bond counsel's opinion that wouldn't be covered under the bond, what we figure is we'll have to budget for that, and we'll absorb that in our budget. We have implemented some special project fees and other, special project fees basically to help offset the cost of our annual fees.
With that overall, I was thinking about this afterwards for a little bit. There would probably be a decrease in the server maintenance cost.
Exactly.
Contract. I don't know how significant that would be, because, I mean, we pay some hefty server maintenance fees, and of course, they go out once in a while, so it seems like I'm always buying servers.
Yes.
So I was hopeful that we would get close on, the comparison that, the cloud services, at least initially,
Yeah.
would probably almost pay for itself. I haven't seen it actually happen that way completely, but
Right.
it's usually close enough to make sense. And like you said, that gives us that disaster recovery piece, so we don't have to have a disaster recovery hotspot to pull us back out if something happens.
Exactly. Well, and I think that, and I don't have those figures in front of me, but yes, part of the reason that we decided to go with the hosting solution as opposed to physical servers was because cost-wise, it lined up pretty nicely, and I think that in the long run, it will actually save us money, because I know the last time we replaced servers, it was a $90,000 price tag, and those current servers would not be enough to host, the robust
Yeah,
system
and
that
then the
will.
maintenance contract kills us on it. By
Exactly.
the time we get the maintenance contracts, the servers end up being cheap over the years. My one concern with cloud services is, do we have enough redundancy on, I call it the pipe going in and out. I don't really only believe I have one fiber optic line going into the Justice Center right now. And if we had a problem, as you know, it was just, about 2 years ago, maybe in that time frame, when they severed our fiber optic cable, and we were down for, I think, about 3 days.
Yes.
Trying to get the fiber optics back up. And that was, we had our servers on site, and even then we had a significant decrease in the productivity and our ability to work with that fiber optic being severed. So I think that we need to sit down and talk about a redundancy and how we're going to put a redundancy in, so that if we do get challenged on that front again, we can access the cloud, the services that were in the cloud, especially since a lot of our software now is cloud-based,
Yes.
rather than desktop-based software. So that's a near-term conversation rather than far-term conversation. I believe that a lot of us should be having, because I don't have those redundancies in this building or your building right now.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I know we had the pleasure of meeting Cameron, the new IT director, and we've started some of those conversations. So, although I think he was just trying to absorb
Well,
everything,
I
but I
just-
think that's a very good point.
Yeah, I just don't want to wait again, and that was a mess when
Yeah.
that fiber went down, and so I'm going to put it on my docket and agenda next year. We'll all sit down and start talking about a solution to that, because we have to be able to reach those things on a secondary basis should we lose our primary service. But great, I appreciate all the work you've done, Jody. It's been a real
Thank
good
you.
time working with you on this project. But just to add something to the commission, this is one piece. This whole upgrade between all the officers is almost close to $4 million.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of work's going on. A lot of people are doing, trying to plug all the pieces of the puzzle together. They couldn't get one fit all, so there was a different solutions, but they still have to fit together, and that's what's been the tough piece over there. And I haven't heard any problems really coming out of over there.
So far, so good
So,
is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, nobody's called up and complained. We haven't had to go to marriage counseling or anything, so it's been pretty good. So thank you.
Been
Thank
down that
you.
road before,
Thank you,
haven't we?
Jody.
Yes, thank you very much.
Good luck
Thank
with
you.
the system.
Okay, and any further discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Okay, under the engineer, number 13, amend resolution number 19253 for the contract with K.E. McCartney and Associates for the Lorain County Sanitary Geographic Information System to modernize and create a geodatabase. This amendment will extend the completion date to December 31st of 2020.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Number 14, amend resolution number 18124 to increase contract amount with Richland Engineering in the amount of $53,045.06 to evaluate and assist with construction contract documents associated with the closed Whitney Road Bridge in Pittsfield Township and the North Ridge Road Bridge in the city of Amherst, Ohio.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Number 15, award contract to Erie Materials in the amount of $129,312.50 for limestone aggregate for the Lorain County Highway Department. There were 3 bids, and this was the lowest bid. This will be paid from account number MVGT Engineering Supplies and Material.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Under the Sheriff Department, number 16, authorize the Lorain County Sheriff to enter into a 3-year agreement for pharmacy with Correct RX commencing on January 1st of 2020.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion?
Commissioners, I want to request at this time that just until I may be able to get the questions answered while we're eating lunch, but I had a couple questions. I only read the contract last night on this, and I have a couple questions. This is a very tough thing to do with jails and getting drugs into jails. They've done a fabulous job out there. And, Melissa did that. They stole Melissa from me.
Right.
I haven't forgiven them yet. It's been a while. So I know she worked really, really hard on this, and I looked over the RFP when it went out. But I only just looked through the contract, and I have 1 or 2 questions on it. Recognizing that there's very few companies that bubble wrap and ship in specific quantities of drugs on a regular basis, and then we'll take them back if they haven't been opened, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I just talked to counsel about 1 or 2 things, and I just want to get that clarified before we go forward. We can come back out afterwards. I think it's probably just something I'm missing, but I want to get those questions answered. If you could hold up just for a little bit on that, I would appreciate
I'll
it.
withdraw my motion.
I'll withdraw my second.
Okay.
Okay. So now with the public comment section of the meeting.
Okay.
Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Anyone wishing to address the board this morning? Okay. Seeing none?
Okay. Mr. Cordes?
I do have one matter that I need to bring from the floor for Job and Family for Services. It came over yesterday late. We're going to see it different, right up until our last meetings. This time of year, everything's always pretty short fused. We have to do this. There's a deadline on it for Safe Harbor Battered Women's Center shelter, and we're pushing time frames, so I'm going to request a resolution here from the board, if I find out where I put it. Here it is.
Easy on the equipment there, Jim.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have anything for veteran services for the general relief?
Well, we got that in.
Is it in?
It's in.
I've got
okay?
it in my report.
Oh, okay.
Want to
Okay,
handle
so-
this one, then we'll do that one and explain
Well, it's
that
already
one a little
done.
bit.
It
Okay,
got-
so we'll explain more of the details
Right,
of it.
Casey, that got added to the packages, right? Yeah, so you can discuss that, but it got added to the package. We were able to take care of that.
Okay.
So this is a resolution to amended to include Lorain County Safe Harbor Battered Women's Shelter, Lorain, Ohio, increase Title 20 funding by $4,357.
We already have that one.
No, this is Safe Harbor, 136,956. They give you a
Okay,
different.
I was just reading what
Because
was
it was
handed to me.
132 on number 12 for Safe Harbor.
Increased the transfer fund by 132.
There it is.
Okay,
You got Title 20 funding by and increase the Title 20 TANF transfer funding by
yeah, we just
132.
handled that under number 11.
Well, I didn't see it on there. Why are they
Okay.
giving it to me from the floor then? I don't know why. Did you get it in yesterday, Janice? Isn't this the one we talked
Oh,
about at
this
the end
is
of the day?
one that I mentioned to you late in the day, and you said you'd bring it up on the floor. It's Safe Harbor.
So you managed to get it on the agenda?
No, I did not. You said you would bring it up today.
Yeah, I didn't.
But I
see.
have,
Oh.
but I have the verbiage here if you'd like me to.
Sure. Why don't you read us the verbiage?
We'll cover it.
Well, you have the domestic relations one, but you don't have the Safe Harbor one.
Right.
Right.
She has it on hers, we don't have it on ours.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, that's where it was on the draft. We took it off the draft. We had some questions, and then we didn't get it back on. We didn't get it in time, the answers, and that's why we have to bring it from the floor.
Okay, all right, go ahead, read.
We're good. We're good, okay. Amend Resolution Number 18677, dated October 17 of 2018, authorizing Lorain County Safe Harbor to provide protective services to adults for fiscal year 2019. The said amendment will increase the Title 20 TANF transfer funds by $132,598.38.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yeah, I was just going to say this, what always happens at the end of the year. I don't know why everybody waits till the last minute to get stuff done,
You know,
but
Commissioner,
it happens.
I don't want to just fault
right.
the parties out there.
Right.
I try to do my due diligence for the board
Oh, I
on
know
all
that.
of this stuff,
I know that.
and sometimes I get a little behind on it, and just like that jail contract was over, and I didn't read it until last night, and
Right.
I probably could have got to it sooner. So I'm not going to fault folks just out there. Everybody's pushing hard, and
Right.
we're rounding the track towards the end of the year here. And Janice did come late in the day yesterday. I said, just get the agenda out. People are waiting on it, and I'll deal with it in the morning. Then I decided to roll down my driveway and got here a little late. So
Literally rolled down the
Literally
driveway
rolled down the
without a
driveway.
vehicle.
Tuck and roll.
So I need to be in the clouds somewhere. So I appreciate your patience. Thank you.
Yeah,
No
no, I'm not
problem.
placing any blame. I just want to let people know it's typical end of the year where a lot of things have to get in by the end of the year, and sometimes we even get notification from people at the last minute that they want it by the end of the year. So just glad that we're getting it done.
Okay, any further discussion? Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sueda?
Aye.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kukowski?
I really don't have a report, I just want to, oh, Jim. We're
Jerry.
skipping over you, never mind.
Janice only does this once every several months, so she gets a pass. Okay.
No, you got to pass.
Yeah, that's true,
Yeah, we got
that's
the
true.
pass. And by the way, I'm going to tell you in executive session anyway, Janice just submitted her retirement to me.
Yes, I did. Oh, boy, it's really out there now.
Hey, she doesn't have I think she'll
Boy.
still be doing a couple meetings because unfortunately our
Yes.
clerk is out for personal reasons for a
Right.
few more weeks.
But it's April
But I
1st.
think April 1st is your
April f-
retirement
Well,
date.
Maybe you'll-
my last day will be March 31st.
So by that time, we'll have been working together close to 20 years.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
I'll be sorry to see you go, but we'll have more time to talk about that. But I was going
Hey,
to tell
you're
you
welcome.
a little later on. But she's out here, so I might as well embarrass her in front of everybody.
Thank you for embarrassing me, yes.
But with that, I yield to council. Thank you.
Okay.
I would mention that, in our part of the new computer system is called Matrix, and we've been implementing that since the fall, and it's really working fantastically. It's amazing, what used to take us 3 or 4 steps, we can input a number and boom, we have it. It's actually kind of scary because, I mean, we can put in your license number and, we know whether you were.
Naughty or nice?
We know whether you had to stay after school for talking in class,
Oh, my goodness.
It is really scary what just comes up.
Oh, boy.
Now yours is
We know more than Santa Claus.
yours is also on the Wi-Fi wherever they are in the building, right? Because we upgraded the Wi-Fi, so they can take it with them, right? Everybody's working laptop-based now, is that?
Right.
Okay, so,
Not everybody, but.
but a good amount of people now, so when they're in dead time or whatever, they can still access through the Wi-Fi all the software and so
It's
forth?
pretty spectacular, so. And other than that, it is the end of the year, so I have 4 matters of pending litigation. to
jeez.
discuss with you in executive
There you go.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
4 pending issues.
Well, not really having a report today since it's been such a nice holiday week last week. And just want to say that I did cook Thanksgiving dinner, the whole shebang, and the fire department was not called. And it was really good. So, and I had intended on going to the McCann's swearing in yesterday, but guess what? I had some of my leftovers, and you know what happens when you eat turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes all over again, and I fell
You
asleep
fell asleep? That's funny.
really early. So,
I'm sure that made him feel very important.
well, he doesn't know that now.
does
Well, now he
now.
does. Now he does. Sorry, Jim. I meant to be there last night, so to support you. I've known Jim for a long time, so he'll make a great chief. End of my report.
Okay, just want to send out our condolences this week. Walter Suki, the village administrator of LaGrange, and his passing. It's a big loss for the community. Just a very dedicated public servant who will be missed greatly. Also, Marilyn Vandermark. She's the mother of Jim Vandermark, owner of Vandermark Jewelers, and her husband Robert passed away a couple years ago, and Marilyn here recently in the past week, and just 2 really very charming people and good family there. Congratulations to the new chief, McCann, the chief of Lorain now. Wasn't able to attend the swearing in yesterday. Had a chance to talk to the chief the other week at Sal Rivera's retirement. And we can't thank Sal enough for his service to our community. And Chief McCann, I'm sure, will step right in and pick up where he left off. So we're looking forward to working with him. Also, more graduates at the Veterans Treatment Court the other day. Great story in one of our papers today. Nice pictures and everything of the graduates, and can't thank Judge Walter and everybody involved with that effort enough. It's always important for us to go the extra step, the extra mile to help our veterans as they transition and work through some of the struggles that they face. And hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. And I had some turkey on Thanksgiving, but I didn't. No, oh my gosh, no. My wife knows better than that. So I always say if I ever had my own cooking show, it'd be Microwave with Matt. So that's not the only thing I can do. Either I can make you a good sandwich too if you want a sandwich sometimes. So that completes my report.
Microwave with Matt. I like that. That might be
That's
good to go.
catchy. It's catchy. You've got a second career.
Yeah, just follow the instructions.
Well, first, I'd like to just make the notation that we did have a request from Veteran Services, and what we were able to do without requiring an agenda item on it was we have transferred $43,000 in funding, as well as we had $32,000 in appropriations, which will bring that total to $75,000. So we've been able to execute that quickly. Getting back, we missed a meeting last week, but last week we did, or week before last, we did our media event at the Collection Center, and I think a lot of folks were very interested in what a great service that is. It is a free service. We have magnets that have the time and hours for you and what they can accept at the Collection Center. So grab one on your way out if you'd like one. I put a stack of them back there. But it's a great service if you have electronics, TVs. I guess that is electronics. computers. If you have paint, they recycle paint. It's just a great facility, and we have folks from all over Ohio visiting our collection center to use it as a model and as a method of inspiration for what they can do to do more recycling in their communities. We had the Lorain County Veterans Resource Fair was held at the North Ridgeville campus of LCC Friday before Thanksgiving. And then the following week, which would have been I don't know, my weeks are all confused here, folks. But LCC had center stage event over at is it Brainyard? What do they call it?
The shipyard.
No, Brain.
Oh,
Barn.
Barn?
Barnage.
Oh, you're talking
Barnage
about
Hall.
I got you.
Yes, at Barnage Hall, Judge Jim Maraldi's group, Just Us, was performing, but it was a nice reception for supporters of LCC. They always have so many things on the horizon, and I think we'll be seeing a lot more shortly, but it was just a thank you for supporters. Saturday, downtown Lorain had their Winterfest, and I have a shout out to Sandy Strojak and Pam Novak from our transportation department, Pam is, who assisted so that we were able to supply the trolley for the cookie crawl in Lorain on Saturday. They did a beautiful job on Saturday. I'm just going to throw this out there. They started with a cookie crawl. They had a parade at 4 o'clock, Winterfest parade, very well attended. Everything is lighted. If you haven't been downtown Lorain in a while, they've done an outstanding job of lighting. LCC provided live reindeer for petting. They had pictures with Santa, obviously. They did have a beverage crawl later that day. I didn't have a trolley for that one. And it just was a very nice evening with carols and lots of festivities, and everything was almost free that they did. The cookie crawl was free. 17 participants all through the community had cookies for anybody who walked into their shops. Then on Sunday, I was able to attend the Jake Nolan Foundation fundraiser over at the VFW here in Elyria. Last night was a very lovely event at the Lorain City Council chambers, where they did honor Sal Rivera, Chief Sal Rivera, as he was taking his final lap. I think by now he's got to be a little worn out because there have been a lot of celebrations and thank yous and festivities. And last night he said, "Well, it's not about me." And so they did swear in. Mayor Kazura swore in the new Chief McCann, as well as I want to congratulate the promotions of Captain Ed Super, Lieutenant Corey Middlebrooks, and Sergeant Jason Orleano. They were all sworn in last night, and I think Lorain is going to be in very good hands with the new leadership at the police department. Finally, I would like to send condolences out to the family of Brandon Bruce, the 17-year-old who was fatally shot here in Elyria a couple nights ago. They do have another teenager arrested in the connection with that, but I think that we need to reflect on how, as a community, we can bring greater safety to the youth and the children in our community. That's my report.
Okay. There's no clerk's report for today. Board correspondence.
I would move that the reading be waived.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski,
Aye.
Ms. Sueda.
Aye.
Okay.
I see no other business at this time. I would move that we go into executive session for the reasons stated by the county administrator and by the assistant county prosecutor.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kukowski,
Aye.
Ms. Sueda.
Aye.
This has been a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda for a printable copy of the agenda.